Today an important political event is taking place in Uzbekistan. The elections for the Legislative Chamber of the Oliy Majlis and the Local Council of People's Deputies. The polling process has kicked off at 8 a.m. The head of state, Prime Minister and other authorities also cast ballots. The Uzreport TV team is actively covering the polling process. The journalists visited a number of polling stations to cover these processes. You may watch the details of these events in our following reports.
The President Shavkat Mirziyoyev, together with his family, visited polling station number 59 in the Mirzolukbek district of the capital and cast his vote. Five political parties are participating in the elections: the Social Democratic Party Adolat, the Liberal Democratic Party, the Democratic Party Milli Tiklanish, the Ecological Party and the People's Democratic Party. This event is taking place under the slogan "My Choice, a Prosperous Homeland." For the first time in Uzbekistan's history, the elections for the Legislative Chamber of the Oliy Majlis are being conducted under a mixed electoral system combining majoritarian and proportional elements. 75 deputies are elected directly through the majoritarian system, where voters select individual candidates, while the other 75 are chosen through the proportional system, where voters are cast for political parties. Another aspect of the election process through the e-silo information system. The system has enhanced the transparency of the elections to a higher level. All polling stations are equipped in accordance with the legal requirements. A total of 5,770 district election commissions and 11,028 precinct election commissions have been organized, including 57 polling stations in 40 foreign countries. More than 850 international observers are monitoring the election process as part of the missions from the CIS, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the Organization of Turkic States, and a comprehensive mission of the OSCE's Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights. The head of state also spoke with citizens at the polling station. He expressed gratitude for their active participation in the elections and their sense of involvement in the future of the country and their community. Parliamentary elections are continuing in the country. We have visited the polling station number 520. 1,116 men and 1,265 women are registered for them. 38 of them are first-time voters. Parliamentary elections have started in Uzbekistan, and as you can see, there are a lot of people lined up in order to project their voice and to vote for their party. Those who would like to vote come to this station, and then first the thing that they need to do is register through this place, and then after they're being registered, they come to this place and then they take voting ballots. After taking voting ballots, they go to the voting booth where they make their decisions, and then they cast their ballots over there. According to the data, there are over 2,381 people registered to the voting in this place, and 38 of them are people with special needs. The Prime Minister of Uzbekistan, along with his family members, also exercised their voting rights at this polling station. According to the international experts, the election process is being conducted transparently and in accordance with the legal requirements, with the participation of both local and foreign observers. Transparency is a crucial factor in all elections. To ensure transparency, we have foreign observers. So let's take a short interview from one of those observers. Hello?
Hello. I'm from the Organization of Turkic States. We have been attending to observe the elections as an international observer mission. First of all, we hope that the elections would bring more stability, prosperity and peace to Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan has been on the right track of determined development and progress in the course of last 10 years. We are convinced that the elections would bring more prosperity and stability to the brotherly Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is a member of the Organization of Turkic States. It has become a full member in 2019, and since then it has become, a very supportive force within the organization. And by the upon invitation of the government of Uzbekistan, we have formed an international election mission, and we are here to monitor the elections as an international observer mission. We have been attending the elections, parliamentary, presidential elections and referenda of our member and observer states. So now we are here in Uzbekistan, and we hope again that the elections will bring more fortunes, more prosperity to the country. We are sure of that.
We see a lot of people lined up at the polling place we just left, which is always a good sign. And it's on a Sunday, so nobody can say they've got work or school or something like that. So ours is the 5th of November, no matter what day it is. So I don't know, here is it vary to always have it on a weekend? I don't know how it's scheduled here. But I mean, there seemed to be people lined up in the morning, and a lot of them we saw were students. They were student age. And typically students and young people have a lower participation rate in voting. So if there are a lot of young people turned out, it could be either they're really enthusiastic or they're angry.
So we are currently at the polling station 105. The foreign observers and the voters and the conductors are already here actively processing the voting process. When it comes to the statistics, there are 2,600 voters here in this station. 103 of them have already voted before the polling began. 74 of them are inclusive voters, and polling stations are set up overall. There are 39 polling stations around the world, where 7 countries have 2 polling stations each.
All conditions specified by law have been created at this polling station. We have provided information boards for voters to familiarize themselves with the list of candidates. There are 11 members of the Election Commission actively working at the station. Among them are teachers as well as employees from other state organizations.
Over 850 foreign delegates are participating as international observers in the parliamentary elections. A group of them also visited polling station number 105. All right, so you have been here since the morning. Could you please assess the conditions created at this polling station?
Yes, we came in early to see what's happening, how they open. I'm very impressed by the orderly fashion in which it's done. I think they're doing a very good job. The layout of the voting station is according to standards, and I think from the face of it, they are doing very well in getting their voters through the process very quickly.
Do you have any further suggestions?
In our country, we take the secrecy of the vote very, very serious. So we would suggest that the ballot booths where they cast their vote be turned around so that you don't see the voter at all. But it's not a problem. There's no people close by, but in our country we would have turned it around so that the voter feels very, very secure. Nobody can see the ballot and how they make their mark.
Could you please provide your feedback on the conditions created at this polling station?
Yes, the polling station is good, and also it's ready for the elections. We saw the opening of the voting station, and it complies with the international standards. We have seen also the first voters coming in, and the secrecy of their vote was not compromised at all. So the processes so far, they are good.
Do you have any suggestions?
Yes, the only suggestion that I would make is to make sure that the ballot booths are placed in such a way that the voters' secrecy is guaranteed.
For reference, 11,028 polling stations have been set up across the country. In addition, Central Election Commission has established 57 polling stations at Uzbekistan's diplomatic and consular missions in 40 foreign countries, which are attached to the Tashkent City electoral district.
From the early morning, we visited 107th polling station in the capital. Voting process is already started and will continue until 8 p.m. local time at over 11,000 polling stations across the Republic and 57 voting locations in 40 countries internationally. This polling station has 2,014 registered voters, including 9 young people voting for the first time. Some citizens have already voted early here. From October 16 to 23, early voting took place with 54 voters participating. Portable ballot boxes were arranged for patients or those unable to vote on election day, allowing them to vote from home. Accessible provisions including ramps, braille and loops were also provided for citizens with disabilities. A commission of 11 members was formed to register and assist voters during the election. Citizens who participated in the election reported that all necessary conditions were provided for a smooth voting process. All conditions have been created for citizens in the 107th polling station. We came to vote for our preferred candidate. I have 4 children in the family. I hope they will also vote in the districts where they live. The participation of observers and media representatives is crucial for ensuring openness and transparency in elections. For this parliamentary election, 851 foreign observers were accredited. We gathered opinions from guests from Sri Lanka who came to observe the election process.
The arrangement has been excellent, and I want to share something with my experience. Yesterday I was in the Samarkand, and the day before yesterday I met some young voters in Samarkand and Tashkent. The young people are willing to vote their cast their vote in eagerly. They are waiting for it. Can't see there are more many differences between two countries, but I can say the arrangement in your countries are very excellent. So in the morning hours in our country, the people are ready to vote their cast early morning, but still I am waiting for the voters. I think it may be because of today the weekend day. Today is a holiday, so these are the autumn season, so people will come and cast their vote around 12 and 1 o'clock.
For reference, polling stations opened first at Uzbekistan's diplomatic missions in Japan and South Korea at 4 a.m. Tashkent time. The last polling stations to close will be at Uzbekistan's embassies in the USA, scheduled for 5 a.m. at Tashkent time on Monday. A total of 851 international observers are participating in the parliamentary election. This included representatives from 13 prestigious international organizations. There are also 560 observers from the Commonwealth of Nations and the Inter-Parliamentary Assembly of the CIS, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and other organizations. Additionally, 46 observers from 24 foreign election bodies and 245 observers from 43 countries were accredited. Currently, there are 55,000 observers from political parties and over 10,000 observers from citizens' self-government bodies monitoring the election. I observed the preparations for the parliamentary elections in Uzbekistan and noted significant progress in transparency and political dialogue, which marks a major step forward. This reflects the development and changes in Uzbekistan over the past few years. In the last 4 or 5 years, Uzbekistan has made strides in demographic development, particularly with a strong resource in its young population. I believe the reforms currently underway will help create new jobs and opportunities for this younger generation. I'm hopeful that parliamentary renewal will bring further positive changes and new reforms. This new group of deputies has the potential to support the president in advancing reforms and boosting Uzbekistan's standing in Central Asia.
Today we are witnessing an important phase in the life of the people of Uzbekistan. It is encouraging to see every citizen actively participating in the country's life at the both local and state levels. The parliamentary elections under the new system mark a significant milestone. Citizens of Uzbekistan clearly support the state's chosen development path. I am confident that those who come to the polling stations will vote for a better future for themselves and their children, making the content of this process very important.
In line with the delegations, representatives of organizations also reviewed the process. One of these is the Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights of the Organization for the Security and Cooperation in Europe. The head of the observation mission attended the 16th polling station in the capital, where we got the opportunity to talk with him.
I'm very pleased to be here on election morning in Uzbekistan, where I'm leading a team that has been on the ground for more than a month, with a team of experts here in the capital, 26 long-term observers out in different regions of Uzbekistan, and today we have over 200 short-term observers visiting polling stations all around the country to assess the extent to which these elections comply with OSCE commitments and other international standards. The work that we're doing includes review and assessment of the electoral legislation, the way in which the media are covering the campaign, the work of candidates in the campaign, and of course today the process of voting, counting, and tabulation of results.
For reference, the preliminary results and conclusions of this observation will be announced at the press conference of the OSCE ODIHR.
57 polling stations were set up in foreign countries for the elections. Voting initially started at the embassies in Japan, South Korea, China, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, and India. It was announced at a briefing organized by the Central Election Commission. According to the Central Election Commission's chairman, nearly 20 million citizens were registered in the country's electronic voter list this year. Additionally, the number of voters abroad reached over 165,000. During the briefing, the Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs emphasized that the special attention is being given to ensure public safety, and arrangements have also been made for prisoners to participate in the elections.
This election, which is being held after the constitutional reforms, they are very important for Uzbekistan, and these elections are now with the new constitution. And the polling stations, I went in the morning, I saw a lot of young people coming and voting, which is very good, because all the countries, they have a lot of young people, and when young people, they come out and vote, so it means that they are giving their, they want to participate in the elections.
The reforms in Uzbekistan's parliamentary election system align with all encouraging trends. I believe the reforms implemented in this sector have been exemplary. Uzbekistan has successfully incorporated the best practices from Europe, America and Asia into its electoral system. In my view, the transparency and openness of Uzbekistan's election system are now similar to the system of Federal Republic of Germany.
In the first half of a day, 5,900,243 voters, or 29.58%, had participated in the elections. Furthermore, 55,000 observers from political parties and over 10,000 observers from local self-governance bodies are directly monitoring the election process.